super sparkly sapphires. I'm going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to be having agenda at my front door for a while, kind of like how we used to have agenda behind our classroom door. Mindful positions in 5, 4, 3, 2, wonderful. Today is Monday, April 20th, 2020. That's a lot of 20s. Today is the 138th day of school. Let's write and count 138. It's 100, 3 10s, and 8 1s. So you write 1, 3, 8. Can you point to your screen and count the part of the number that I'm counting? 100, 110, 120, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138. On Mondays, we're going to be singing the Days of the Week song and the Months of the Year song. Ready? Begin Days of the Week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. This time we'll look at the words up close. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. And now let's sing the months of the year. January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. And now we'll look at the words up close. January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. Last week, we started talking about pioneers when we read the story Oliver Ox. And today, you're going to make a map that shows the 3 major pioneer trails in the United States. There were several others, but these were the 3 most used or most popular, you could say. This map shows the 3 main pioneer trails in color. The purple trail is called the Mormon Trail, and the Mormons left from Nauvoo, Illinois, and of course they headed west because everybody was going west. And they went this way along the Mormon Trail that you can see here in purple. And many of them stopped in Salt Lake City, Utah. The green trail shows the California Trail. Those pioneers left from Independence, Missouri, and of course they headed west, and they followed pretty much the same route until getting to Utah. Then they kept going across the Sierra Nevada mountains, and they ended near Sutter's Fort, California, where there was lots of gold being found. And the orange trail is the Oregon Trail. Those pioneers also left from Missouri, took basically the same path, but then around Utah, they kept going north across Idaho, and they ended in Oregon, which is why it was called the Oregon Trail, of course. Your map is going to look similar, but it's not going to be colored. So your job is to trace the Pioneer Trails with the correct color to match the key down here. So for the Mormon Trail, I'm going to start in Nauvoo, Illinois. I'm going to head west, of course, and I'm going to stop in Salt Lake City, Utah. For the Pioneers, it took months. For us, it just took a few seconds. For the California Trail, you're going to start in Independence, Missouri, and you're going to head west, of course, and you're going to pass Salt Lake. You're going to keep going through Nevada, across the Sierra Nevada mountains, and you're going to end in California. And for the Oregon Trail, again, you are going to start in Missouri. You're going to head which direction? West. But this time when you get to Utah, you're going to go north, up across Idaho, and west across Oregon, and you're going to end right there in Oregon. Today for Literature Response, we're going to read about a very important and famous event for the United States and for the whole world. That event was called the Gold Rush. It all started when a man named James Marshall was working at a sawmill. The man who owned the sawmill was named John Sutter. Here's what James Marshall said about working at the sawmill in 1847. Mr. Sutter wanted to find a good site for a sawmill. I traveled along the river the whole way until I reached the exact spot we were hunting. In August of 1847, I was digging the foundation of the mill, and we cut some distance into soft granite, and a ditch was cut in the rear of the mill. January 24th, 1848. It was a clear, cold morning I shall never forget. My eye was caught with the glimpse of something shining in the bottom of the ditch. I reached my hand down and picked it up. It made my heart thump, for I was certain it was gold. Then I saw another piece. Putting one of the pieces on a hard river stone, I took another and commenced hammering. It was soft and didn't break. It therefore must be gold. So this big news started spreading all over the world. Here are some of the things that were written in different newspapers. The great discovery of gold has thrown the American people in a state of the wildest excitement. Gold can be scooped up in pans at the rate of £1 per scoop. Ho for California is the cry heard everywhere. Gold is measured here by bushels and shovelful. The whole population is going crazy. Old as well as young are falling victim to the gold fever. The mountains in California are solid gold. Ho for California. So this news caused hundreds of thousands of people to go to California. The blacksmith dropped his hammer, the baker dropped his loaf, and the tapster dropped his bottle. All were off for the gold mines in California. Every loose-footed man wanted to go. Some men that was tied with families actually sat down and cried because they couldn't go. Some people got to California by sailing on a ship. This map shows the routes that were taken. Here are some of the stories from some of the passengers who took ships to California. The sea was thrown into a tremendous excitement. Women were praying, children were screaming, and some were shouting. Horace C. Snow said, "The ship gave a lurch and threw me down. I rolled and pitched and tumbled against one side of the room and then turned 2 or 3 somersaults and struck my shoulders against the other side." Richard Lunt Hale said, "I am all out of patience and was never so heartily sick of playing cards in all my life, for it is nothing else from morning until night." Some people cut across Panama by taking a river boat and then riding mules before they got on another ship to go up the west coast to San Francisco. Many other people walked to California or took wagons using the trails that you just traced on your map. Here's what some of those people had to say. This was J.H. Beadle. "A company of 40 of us started at Independence, Missouri. The whole country was underwater. The mud was thicker and stickier every day, but the men kept a hoopin', and I never seed men so crazy to get on. Here's what Alicia Douglas Perkins said. Our route today has been over rough prairie with little gullies 10 or 12 feet deep through which our wagon had to plunge. She also said, for 6 hours we traveled over the most perfectly flat country ever conceived of. Nothing was in sight but the green of the prairie and the blue of the sky. By the time these hundreds of thousands of people were heading to California, the year was 1849. So all of these people who wanted to find gold were called 49ers. And you better believe that's why the San Francisco football team is called the 49ers. Here's what it was like for some of the 49ers when they arrived in California and started mining gold. Dame Shirley said, what a lovely sight greeted our eyes. It was worth the whole wearisome journey, danger from Indians and grizzly bears, sleeping under the stars, and all to behold this beautiful vision. Bayard Taylor said, when I first saw men carrying heavy stones in the sun, standing waist deep in water, and grubbing with their hands in the gravel and clay, there was little temptation to go digging for gold. But when the shining particles were poured out lavishly from a tin basin, I confess there was a sudden itching in my fingers. E.G. Buffram said, I trudged merrily away to a ravine, and there at the bottom, strewn against the whole length of the rock, was bright yellow gold in little pieces about the size and shape of grains of barley. Eureka! That means I found it. Oh, how my heart beat. The gold rush packed San Francisco with people from all over the world. A lot of towns sprang up all around Northern California where gold was first discovered. They were called boom towns, and there were lots of opportunities for people to open stores. Some of the 49ers became rich, but most people did not have very good luck finding gold and had to get other jobs. Some people who didn't have good luck in the gold rush went home, but most people decided to stay in the beautiful land that is California.